everybody, welcome to WWPWW, and we are the King Ross quoting, Owen Hart devoting, Brock Lesnar offended, Roman Reigns defended, Becky Lynch crushing, AJ Styles loving, wrestling podcast, and Sons of Guns. Woo!
No words, man. That was awesome. That was really awesome.
Yeah,
you said you were gonna go big, and man, you went big. That was really good.
Yeah, I was like, we need a catchphrase. We need something, and I thought, oh, this would be good, something to do for every once in a while. I was like, I want to do a Ric Flair style promo because I've kind of been falling down the Ric Flair rabbit hole. I want to go back, watch some of his classic matches and some of his awesome promos, which are plenty of on YouTube. And I was just like, dude, I need to do something like that. Do something big.
Oh, yeah. And that was pretty good.
And so I thought that would be fun. Yeah, that was awesome. Everybody, welcome. Worldwide Wrestling Podcast of Worldwide Wrestling. This is 33 or 34, I believe.
Something like that.
I think it's 34. I think last week I said it was episode 34, but it was actually episode 33. So I'm pretty sure this is actually episode 34.
we should go total Vince McMahon and be like, you know what? WrestleMania is just WrestleMania. This is just the show.
This is just episode.
Yeah, episode. And that's it. Like, just go full Vince McMahon here.
We'll just deny the age.
Deny the age of it. Because, I mean, obviously, it's because he doesn't want to feel old.
Yeah.
I mean, dude's old, and I think he's a near genius when it comes to the sport and to this business. And so we should just go full, embrace the inner Vince McMahon, and say that this is an episode of.
Yeah. Because I think obviously put the episode number up on the on the YouTube page, but yeah. On air, who cares? So, folks, we're bringing some good stuff to you. As per usual, our Raw and SmackDown weekly recaps. And we're also going to do a top 10 list. It'll be fun. Top 10 favorite finishing moves. These are not what we think are the best finishers or anything like that. These are just our opinions of our favorites. Even though some of the greatest of all time are on our list, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole big discussion we could have, is what we think are the greatest finishers. These are just our personal favorite. Like, we should do a special time sometime, like maybe like once a month, do a special where we just debate stuff. Ooh. I think that would be a lot of fun to do. Who's better promo man, Rock or Flair, and stuff. Stuff like that would be awesome.
Because there's plenty of those kind of things. Who's better, Heyman or Heenan?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be
good. Yeah, it would be a good debate.
So, yeah, well, any big news that we've heard of?
So many things in the rumor mill. I don't really want to address any rumors because sometimes rumors can be false. But one of the big things, Southpaw Regional Wrestling, I know you haven't checked it out yet, but go check it out because it's really, really funny. It's put on by some of the WWE superstars. It's kind of a skit thing about, and they kind of make fun of the old regional wrestling, the territories, and so that's pretty funny. They make fun of the South territories, which is really funny. Sad because they're no longer in existence. The territories, Vince pretty much destroyed all that. But they're really, really funny. Really, really something you need to go check out. I can't think of any other rumors. There's other stuff that is nailed down. Oh, next year's WrestleMania match is
apparently at least in the pipeline of what they're thinking of doing.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not written in stone because they've had these kind of things in the past where they were like, this is what it's going to be, and then they changed their mind. Part of me hopes they change their mind, but what it's called for is Brock Lesnar to have the Universal title versus Roman Reigns. And it's just another attempt by WWE, by Vince, to put Roman over. And I hate to say this. I like Roman. You like Roman. We are on board the Roman train. We appreciate his wrestling. We appreciate what he does. But the universe does not. With that being said, same thing can be said about Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Cena is the exact same thing. There are people who like Cena and there are people who hate Cena. And he gets that mixed reaction. The thing about Cena, though, if they're going to put Roman as the face of the company and Cena is getting ready to be phased out, that's going to be hard. Like, Cena pretty much filled the Rock shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that relatively seamlessly.
Yeah.
Roman doesn't have personality on camera. And so I don't know that's the best way to do it.
Hopefully they have something planned to get him over. Like, something actually, instead of just like, because, during his title run, he did put on great matches, but at the end of the day, even though you and I are both just like, man, these matches he's putting on with AJ Styles, and then even though he lost the one against Seth Rollins, that match was really good. He's still continually putting on really good matches.
Yeah.
You do need to have an on-air little more personality, even if it is something like Sting or Goldberg, where it's just quiet, stoic intensity, just this aura of just, like, I could come over there and just straight up murder you, kind of thing. So I don't know if they have a plan to change him or anything like that, but hopefully they won't keep him as is. Just to try something new, to try to get him over, because he's over with you and I, and even Chael Sonnen, the UFC fighter who has a bunch of wrestling guys on his podcast, he's a big Roman fan too.
Mm-hmm.
So there are people who like him a lot. It's just it stinks because we kind of are just like, why can't they see what we see? Because it's not his fault. The WWE is pushing him. And he's just being a good employee, just doing what he's told. And so it's.
And I think that could be the whole good employee thing. That can be seen in other videos, like on Up Up Down Down, when they make fun of the fact that he's Roman Reigns. He can never lose.
Mm-hmm.
He makes fun of himself and that. And so, like you said, he's a good employee. He's a good worker. He's going to do what Vince tells him to. And so, WWE Universe is not a great universe to work for,
Mm-hmm.
with, whatever. So, anyway, yeah. There's other news, but I can't think of anything right now.
I can't think of anything either, really. So
Right on.
just jump right into the nitty gritty. All right, cool. So Monday Night Raw this week. Big shows this week, man. I feel like the shows are going to get bigger and bigger each week going up into WrestleMania. The card of WrestleMania is coming together very, very nicely. We have a lot already in place, or seemingly in place. Really, really enjoying what is shaping up for WrestleMania. I'm getting really, really excited because, like we said countless times last year, they weren't playing with a full deck, so they were just making the best show they could with what they had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And but this year I feel like it's going to be stellar. Because it seems they have everybody back. They got all the aces up their sleeve, and they have a full house pretty much. So, Jeremy, Monday Night Raw. What worked? What didn't work? What did you really like? What didn't you like? And what was your overall feeling of it this week?
Sure. Before I watched Raw, I listened to a couple people talk about Raw, and they had talked very negatively about this episode, and so I went into it like I put it off. My son was sick this week, and so I was like, what, I'm not going to watch it. I'll watch it when I need to watch it. My son's sick, I'll do that. And I didn't want to watch this episode because so many people are so negative about things that have happened. And to be honest with you, when I started watching it, I really enjoyed it. My biggest pet peeve was the commercial breaks were in weird, awkward places on both shows. On both shows, there were commercial breaks that just they were in the wrong place.
Yes.
And so I think that really hurt the show. I think the fact that they pulled the trigger on the split with Kevin and Chris, I think they pulled that a week too early. I think that showed a little bit because they had Kevin come out and do the spotlight thing again, which he did really, really well. He came out and he was like, I put the spotlight back on me. His promo was really good. Jericho's was good. I even liked the Dana Brooke turn on Charlotte.
I like that too. I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, and so like there's a lot of stuff that worked for me. Like I said, I really like the Dana Brooke thing. I want to see where that goes. I didn't get to see a lot of this other stuff. Trying to think what else I enjoyed. Even the tag team match was good. I wish the break didn't happen when it did. I didn't really care for the Jinder Mahal Roman Reigns thing, but I loved what happened at the end. It had one dong from the bell of Undertaker and kind of rattled him a little bit. And then after the Shawn Michaels thing, Roman walks back to the back and he gets railroaded by Braun, and man, Roman had a heck of a bump.
Mm-hmm.
Like that hurt me watching him fall down and just end up in between that. I don't know if it was
Barricade
planned
ring,
or if that was just him, like him going with his body. Whatever his body was going to move, he moved. I don't know. The end segment, I think, for me, was really good and really well done. And like King Ross said, I could have watched them talk and do this segment for a while longer. I enjoyed Mick. I enjoyed the intensity. I enjoyed the fact that he was like, "I'm going to fire you, Stephanie." It sets the seed. It sets the things in motion to get Mick fired, so he can go have surgery on his hip. Even Triple H coming out, even though he stumbled over a couple of things that he said, Triple H is still good on the mic. And the Seth Rollins thing at the end was really, really good. So those were the things that I enjoyed. I think the least favorite thing was the commercial breaks were just in the worst places. What about you? What was your favorite stuff? What did you think of everything? What didn't work for you?
I really liked the Dana Brooke face turn. I've been waiting for that to happen, so I really like that. I'm really intrigued with where they could go from that, and or a seeming face turn at the very least. You know, she turned on Charlotte. You know, so I don't know if it's actually full on face turn or if it's just her breaking away from Charlotte. You know, but I'm sure we'll find out later on. But you know, because I've always been like, yeah, that'd be cool. Break her away from Charlotte, and then put Dana Brooke with the club gals in it and create a stable with those three. Like that's something I really want to happen because it can elevate Dana a little bit and turn her into something big. And you know, like I said, I think I said in one of the earlier podcasts, that'd be kind of fun. It'd almost be like, you know, how Batman villains, you know, like Poison Ivy or Catwoman would always have like two goons or something like that, you know, two henchmen to kind of, so you know, that'd be kind of a neat throwback thing to do. But so yeah, I liked that. I liked the Brock, you know, and Heyman opened up, I think, right? They started out, so that whole segment, you know, was pretty good. They're really building their feud up. The Jinder Mahal thing with Roman Reigns, yeah, that was weird. You know, just to show Roman just, you know, knock the snot out of him, and then just to do the Undertaker, you know, gong thing to. And then when HBK came out, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck? And then, you know, Roman just like, you know, not gonna lie, it's pretty cool to see you. What are you doing here? And, you know, the way he was just like, no offense, but he retired you, and I'm gonna retire him. I was like, that was cool. I liked that, and they had to know that would kind of be a little that it seemed a little heat-seeking, a little like. So it seems as though like they're like, well, we're just gonna have to rock it. You know, people didn't like The Rock as a face at first, so turn him heel. People loved him, and then you turn him face when the time is right. So hopefully they're kind of doing that. It seems anyway, because what they've been doing with Roman has been pretty hardcore. It hasn't been, you know, I can and I will. You know, like I'm the you know the golly shucks, like, hey, I can do this. No, he just seems like a guy who's angry and just wants to decimate him. So hopefully we keep going with that. I liked it, him and HBK's back and forth. You know, I liked it. It was pretty good, and tag match wasn't bad either. I also, you know, liked that. And yeah, the way it ended, I liked Triple H coming out. You know, even though I've never been a fan of Triple H, I respect him as a wrestler, especially as a business person. Like I've grown to hate him less and less. Talk about Triple H. I'm not talking about Paul Levesque. I'm talking about Triple H. Like, as a businessman, Paul Levesque, you know, he's great. You know, but Triple H, the character, on the other hand, you know, is a different story. But so yeah, like it was good to see him, you know, come back out here and flex his muscles, so to speak, and you know, yeah, he can still talk, you know, really good. Like that's one thing he's always been great at is talking. And he seems like he's the kind of guy who is a good wrestler, but his matches can be hit and miss. And whether that's his fault or not, I guess it probably just depends on the match and how he feels about it. I don't know.
I think he's just a safer wrestler. I think he's definitely a smart dude. I mean, he married into the family, into a business that he loves, that he probably is going to be taking over in the next 10, 20 years, depending on how long. Unless Vince gets frozen and is able to put his brain in something and so he can talk. Something, I'm sure Vince has already made a deal with the devil or something to stay alive forever or whatever. But seriously though, like I think at least for now, when the company does, when Vince does pass away or relinquish everything, it's in good hands. I think even Stephanie is a really smart businesswoman. She's learned a lot, and I think she has the respect of the locker room for the most part. I think obviously Shane has more respect for the rest of from the wrestlers because he's the wrestlers' manager, or the wrestlers' boss, I guess. But anyway, yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah, and it was a great segment with him and Mick, and it was a great way. But yeah, when Seth Rollins came out, I was like, oh, they're just gonna have a stare down. And nope, he dropped his crutch, ran into the ring, and took a couple bumps with the crutch. So it seems as though he might be good to go.
He's cleared for what he did that night. Like he's cleared for small things, but he's not cleared for full go. And I kept thinking when they kept attacking his leg that I'm pretty sure that's the wrong leg.
Oh, really?
I have to go back and watch the footage, but I thought it was the other leg that he messed up. And so I don't know if it's one of those things that's like to protect the bad leg, you put the thing on the good leg so you can attack the good leg and not like get injured. So, but yeah, you're right. When he drops it,
It was a good spot. I liked it.
I liked how they kept the crutch into it, and when he threw Triple H out, Triple H grabbed it and started beating with it. That part was really, really cool.
Yeah, so hopefully in a couple weeks he'll be good enough to go, and if not, they might postpone it to SummerSlam and have him and Hunter go there. But I thought it was a really strong show overall. I thought this Raw was pretty decent. There was some stuff I probably fast forwarded because I watched this live Monday night, and I was like an hour behind as it was going on, so I could fast forward through stuff if I needed to. And there was a couple stuff that I skipped, but the Austin Aries match.
Didn't get to see that.
You didn't get to see it? Yeah, it's good. I'm really liking Austin Aries. I had never seen him wrestle before, but I really liked him on not 205, but the cruiserweight matches, how he would join the table and stuff like that. I really like him. I really like his really, really clever guy, really funny guy, really good. But yeah, he's good in the ring, and so I'm really excited to see him and Neville go at it. I'm really liking what they're doing with the cruiserweight thing. It's good, like you and I talked about, how they're finally finding their footing with that, and how Neville is keeping it afloat. He really saved it, and now I think putting Austin Aries in this with him is really good. So I'm really getting into that.
Yeah, and I hope the one thing I hope it does is gives life to the other talent, because I understand putting Austin and Neville in it is to try to revitalize it, but they like Lindsay Dorado and these other guys who are like kind of down the line of importance are kind of sort of being shoved in the background. I hope that doesn't happen because there is so much good talent. And so I just hope that doesn't happen with it all. You're absolutely right. He is one of the better wrestlers. He's one of the better talkers too. Like you could listen to that guy talk about anything. He could read the back of some label and it would make it great. But I wish I would have been able to see that. The Hulu version did not have that on there. Anything else about Raw that you can think of that you wanted to talk about?
I really can't. I thought that there was, but it's kind of, I don't know. Like I thought it was really good. Yeah, I thought the Braun Strowman bump that Roman, like I don't know if yeah, like that looked like it could have hurt the way he landed in between the ramp and the barricade. Like that looked like he could have gotten hurt and stuff. But it looks like they might not be done, those two. And
I think it's a filler feud.
Just to kind of give Roman something to do. Yeah, that could very well be.
Or how crazy would it be if Braun was not necessarily under the control of Undertaker, but like somehow in cahoots with the Undertaker? That'd be interesting.
That'd be very interesting to do. Yeah, I know so many people just because they're jumping on the hate Roman Reigns bandwagon, or they want to placate to the fans. They're like, so they're just bashing Roman Reigns just because it's the in thing to do.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, like so many people are dreading this match. They're just like, why did you put Roman Reigns with the Undertaker? And it's just like, well, if they are going to turn him heel, this would be the best way to do it.
Yep.
You know, to be one of only 2 guys to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. That's, if they're going to turn him heel, it's a genius way to do it. It really is. And also, like, I wanted this. Like, you know, I really did, because I was like, I think it would be awesome to have these 2 guys go at it one-on-one and see what they could do and see what kind of feud they would have, see if there's any surprise turns, what's going to happen. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Most of all, whether Roman Reigns turns heel or not, most of all, I just hope it's a good match.
Yeah.
Like with most matches, I'm just like, I really hope it's a good match, but just so many people are like, I just don't think it'll be good. I just really hope it's good, but it probably won't be. And I was like, well, I mean, Roman Reigns, to my knowledge, like, hasn't really had a bad match. Like, he hasn't really had many stinkers.
The Triple H match last year at WrestleMania wasn't great, but I don't think that was him.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was Triple H and people hating Romans. It was a weird. It wasn't a great match.
It wasn't great, but it was it didn't deserve like worst match consideration or anything like that. It was lackluster to the.
How many people can say that they were able to spear their boss?
Yeah.
Like he freaking speared Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah.
And that was a great spear. That's probably my favorite spot of at least that match.
That was like, because you and I were like, whoa!
Yeah, like, oh my gosh,
like
Stephanie's dead!
Like, we thought it was awesome that he speared Stephanie.
Yeah, with you saying the thing about him being the second only to defeat Undertaker, he's going to defeat Undertaker. And the reason why I say that is because if they're going to set up a feud between him and Lesnar, Roman Reigns and Lesnar, those are the only 2 people to do it. That would make sense that Roman wins at WrestleMania to push that forward.
Mm-hmm.
To push, you know what? You beat Undertaker, I beat Undertaker. That's the storyline. It writes itself there.
It does. Like, I could see them doing a Rock Cena thing, book it 1 year in advance or something like that. You know, storyline wise, because the night after WrestleMania in 2011, the next night on Raw, Cena called out The Rock and he said, all right, 364 days next year, WrestleMania, you and me. And so that'd be kind of neat if they did something kind of like that.
Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing out possibilities, just thinking about.
Because they have a year to get there, and right now there's nothing connecting the 2.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of if Roman wins at WrestleMania, the only thing that would be connecting them.
Yeah.
Is that, but that's 2 lines, or that's 2 points. You got to draw the line, and I think that line's going to be all over the place for a year. Anyway, Raw. I think Raw was better than everybody thinks it was, because like I said, everybody else I watched said it was just awful. And so, like I said, I was dreading it, and then when I was watching, I was like, why do people hate this? I didn't hate it. I thought it was a pretty average show. So, anyway, out of 5 IPA Stone Cold Steve Austin IPAs, what would you give it?
I would probably give this a 3. At the very, very least, a 3. Like, because I thought it was pretty decent. Some good stuff, some pretty strong stuff. Building up to WrestleMania, the 2 to 3 weeks leading up to WrestleMania. Excuse me, last year and this year has been pretty good. Just because it's a big fight type feel. Like, man, I can't wait. Fight night's almost here type thing. And so, and this seems like, as Gandalf says in Lord of the Rings, this felt like the deep breath before the plunge, or whatever it is. This felt like, all right, let's get ready. And then next week it seems like things are just gonna, so, no Finn Balor yet. He made a return to a live event, wrestled in a 6-man tag, which I'm gonna have to try to find on YouTube because I really want to see. But hopefully he'll be back next week, because I've heard a rumor saying that they want to put him and Samoa Joe in a match at Mania.
Really?
So because their stuff in NXT was awesome. I watched their matches last year from NXT, and I really enjoyed that. And so that's just a rumor. Nobody knows for sure. But hopefully he's back and has a match at Mania for sure. Like, I'd really, really like to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you say that, and then the rumor is that Shinsuke is going to come up really, really, really soon. So we'll see. I mean, there's big 3 NXT people in the matter of a year coming up, and now they're in the main roster, and so we'll see. And if AJ, which I think it's going to happen, AJ coming to Raw, there's so many different matches that we have, like Shinsuke and Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, like all this stuff is going to be great. So anyway, so I would give it a 3 as well, but I would give Roman's bump and Mick and Sacco.
Yeah, the return of Sacco. Yeah.
Both of those a 4. So yeah, the show a 3, and Mick and Sacco and the bump Roman had a 4.
All right, cool. So SmackDown Live we go to then.
The SmackDown Live, emanating from, where were they at? Detroit? No.
No. Raw was Detroit. Yeah, they were Pittsburgh.
They were in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh this week, where the snow apparently forced 2 of their guys to stay home. Well, and one of their guys. I guess Morrow was like, no, it's too much snow outside. Caught a lot of flack from Taz and a couple other people on Twitter. They pretty much messed him like, hey man, we back in the day we had to do that. We had to be at the show. Why don't you drive? So anyway, so we got SmackDown Live. What were your?
But if he died on the way to the show,
yeah,
we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah, and
Taz wouldn't be talking smack.
That's true. And who knows how much Morrow was being paid? I mean, I don't. Maybe he's getting paid a lot, and so they basically said, no, you will stay home. I don't know. Either which way, we had JBL and Tom Phillips on the mics, which I thought they did a pretty decent job.
I thought they did, which brings me to a little tiny side discussion. I thought it'd be fun to do a list where we talk about top 5 things that we would change in WWE now.
Oh man.
Number 1 for mine, or no, number 2 probably actually, I think it was number 2 for mine, was trim the fat with commentary. Mm-hmm. Raw, just do Cole and Graves. And then on SmackDown, just do Morrow and JBL. Mm-hmm. Go back to how it was always just, King and Ross on the Raw, and then SmackDown was Cole and Taz. Just go back to 2 guys each. It's just getting too much with 3 people. So I would do that. I would just trim it down to 2 and 2. Because Byron's not bad, he's just not stellar, and David Otunga just isn't. He's just not good at commentary. Seems like a really nice guy, but I mean, he's just not that great at commentary. So I just felt like I needed to say that.
Sure, and I understand that. And, I actually like Tom and what he does.
So do I.
Does on the mic. I don't want him necessarily to go back to NXT, but I think he needs to be doing some kind of commentary work. And so, anyway. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So SmackDown Live, Caleb, what worked for you? What didn't?
A lot of it worked for me. A lot of it did. Everything AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan definitely worked for me. Yep. Daniel Bryan, like you said, he was on fire this week. We were talking before we started. Yeah, Daniel Bryan was on fire, man, bringing all kinds of great heat into the Miz and Cena confrontation, and then backstage with AJ Styles was whoo. Like I said several months ago, Daniel Bryan's got good dad voice, so I think he'll be a pretty good dad. When's Bree due? Who knows?
Soon. I think it's really soon.
It sounds like we're talking about an old friend of ours. Yeah. Oh, when's Bree due? When's Bree? What did Dan say? Anyways, but so yeah, I thought that was great. AJ, when he was getting when he was on the mic, it was awesome. Just I like that he brought up Randy Orton burned down Bray Wyatt's house, and he gets in the main event of WrestleMania. That was just wonderful, and true and funny. He burned down his house and stuff. That was great. Everything with Maurice and Miz was awesome. Their big long-winded promo, their edition of Miz TV, and then I liked when Cena and Nikki came out, and they kind of looked at each other, and Cena was just like, "Let's do it," and they fist bumped, and then they like went down to the to the ring like it was, you know, a rumble from West Side Story. I dug that. I thought that was really neat. And then I love Nikki was just like, "No, I got this," and then she just went off on her promo. That whole thing was great. And then, you know, Daniel Bryan coming out and his thing like, "Miz, I just really want to punch you in the face," and he kept talking about punching you in the face. That was gold. Yeah, all that worked for me. Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin, you know, it sounds like that's happening at Mania, which is awesome. I think that'll be a cool brawl. You know,
the rumor is it's going to be a specialty match.
That's good.
They just don't know what kind of specialty match.
I hope it is
Gimmick match.
A tables match or a no holds barred street fight, Extreme Rules, something.
It's probably going to be a forklift fight.
A forklift fight?
Because he was standing by the forklift, and I think that's probably what it's going to be.
That would be awesome.
It's going to be a forklift fight. You have to be pinned by the forklift. Something. Like, it's going to be something dumb.
That would be pretty rad.
It would be silly.
To do something completely out there and new.
But those guys could pull that off.
They could. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see that. I think those guys will have a pretty awesome, you know, slobber knocker, as JR says. You know, I think it'd be a pretty cool brawl and stuff like that. And pardon me, everybody. Me and Jeremy just had a pizza and drinking soda, so burping a lot.
May fall asleep too.
Yeah, I know. Carbo load indeed, but man, I just had something else and I just completely. Oh no, it's not your fault. It's my fault. I went off talking about the pizza.
Not a sponsor.
Yeah. We're not gonna say who it is, but it rhymes with Basie's. Central Jor. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and say what you're gonna say? Because I completely forgot where I was going, but I pretty much touched on the big things I wanted to. But,
what didn't work for you?
What didn't?
Yeah.
You know, I can't really think of anything. But overall, I thought it was pretty decent. I can't really think of much that didn't. Anyways.
Yeah, everything you said. Yeah, Daniel Bryan was on fire. He did his job really well. I think part of the reason why a majority of the people, like, I think part of it was obviously it was all storyline stuff, but I think some part of it was they were told, you know, act like this was a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's easy to do. Like, you and I could get on a mic and be like, if they tell us what to talk about, we could act like it's a shoot. We can make things up. Whether that's because we know friends who do that, and we just channel their energy, or what. But anyway, yeah, like everything worked. AJ was amazing. His fire. Bubba Ray even got on Twitter saying how much he enjoyed AJ doing what he did. The end where, or not end, I guess towards the middle, where Shane's head goes through the windshield. That was great. It was great because I mean, you obviously knew that was fake glass, but the angles at which that shot was shot was so well done that, like, I had a hard time figuring out how they broke it. How I mean, obviously it was fake glass. That's how they broke it. But it was just really well done shot. I tried to figure out when he got blood on his head. I think I figured that out too. But it was just a well done shot.
Because I know they've been experimenting with like blood packs and blood capsules a lot.
And I'm pretty sure
recently
that's obviously what it was. Because once you see it coming down, it's like, that looks like fake paint, fake blood. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Miz and Maurice are gold. What they're doing with when the rumor first came out that they were going to have a match, that Miz and Maurice and Cena and Nikki were going to have a match, I wasn't too stoked about it. But these guys have done their job and made me want to see this match, especially this last episode. I really want to see this match. I want to see Maurice wrestle again. I think that'd be really fun to watch. I think for me, the only thing that didn't really work, well, there's two things. One, again, this show was marred by commercials in the wrongest place, weirdest places. The tag team match at the end, the commercials were in a weird place. I think in a couple of the women's matches, they were in a weird place. Just weird, bad places. The other thing that bothered me is, and it's not necessarily his fault, it's because he had to wait and he had to talk until the screen popped up, but it was just filler that Randy was talking. I mean, I just didn't care what he was saying. And then when Bray came up, I mean, again, like King Ross said, he's broken. He's mental, and he's bathing himself in
ashes and dirt,
dirt and stuff. And I think they built this really, really well because I think he's going to win at WrestleMania. I really do, because I think they've been wanting to put the title on him. He's healthy. He's in probably the best shape he's been in at WWE, and people love him. And so I think he wins. I think in order to gain more momentum for himself, he wins at WrestleMania over Orton. He's psycho. Like his character right now is just plain psycho, and I love it. I really do. I'm trying to think of what else. I really liked the Natalya Becky Lynch match.
I liked it too.
Again, it was marred by poorly placed commercials. I wanted to see the whole thing. I was okay with the Alexa Bliss Mickie James match, especially after reading that there's a rumor that WWE is not happy with Alexa's performance in the ring. And it also said something like how she had poor chemistry in the ring this week with Mickie, and I watched it. I'm like, I didn't see poor chemistry. I actually saw some of the best out of Alexa since she's been champion, since she's come over. So,
I mean, and obviously compared to Mickie James, who's been wrestling for 14, 15, whatever years, somebody who's my age, for crying out loud, who hasn't been wrestling nearly as long, is probably going to look at least somewhat green compared.
Well, and not only, yes, there is that, but not only that, when they brought Alexa over, they didn't throw her into a feud with Carmella, who she has been wrestling with in NXT for, a year at least already, and so they know each other. They threw her in with other people, and so, I mean, I hope that rumor's not true, because Alexa does have the personality, and I think once she starts practicing and getting some stuff in, she will be one of the top. I know she's the top right now, woman on SmackDown Live, but I think people will start to come around to her. But other than the Randy Orton filler conversation in the beginning, he just was rehashing stuff that he'd already said, waiting for.
Yeah, they were probably just like, here's just hit on some of these points and say some goofy stuff. And, talk about how you're a snake and blah, 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 and this and this and
talk
that.
About how you're a snake, just do this.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Vince, I could totally just hear, I don't know, Randy, just talk about how you're the Viper, you're a snake, and, ooh, and then Bray will come on the Titantron, right? Do you have anything? No, just talk about how, you're a snake and there's venom in your veins and all that, all right, go!
That's exactly probably what happened.
I know.
Well, I mean, because they have two more episodes of Raw and SmackDown before WrestleMania. And so if people hated these two episodes, it's because they're filler.
Yeah.
And so.
And you and I, acknowledge that.
Yeah.
We're not just like, look, you can't really hate on this too much because it's just a filler show type thing. We've said that going into big pay-per-views before, so.
And they're both storyline, and so I liked both episodes. I liked SmackDown more. I don't know how you felt.
I like SmackDown a little more for sure, yeah. But yeah, I thought both of these shows were pretty solid. Nothing too really that negative about them, honestly. So, but yeah, I'm really, really excited. I can't wait to see. I'm way more excited for the women's match for SmackDown than I am for Raw, because it's every available woman from SmackDown in the ring at the same time. So, one of my I wanted to wait and do this for when we do our predictions for WrestleMania, but I'm just gonna say it now. I think Naomi is gonna be a surprise entrant, and I think she's gonna win. That's what I think, anyway.
That'll be interesting if she's good to go by then, because she's in kind of the same boat as Seth, if not a little worse off than Seth. I've read some things that the main women's match on Raw for the Raw division might change. They were looking into possibly adding Nia Jax or Dana Brooke. I say just put them both in.
Put both.
But I mean, because you're doing some kind of match with the SmackDown women, might as well just put everybody in the Raw as well.
Yeah.
I mean, It's not gonna hurt. It's
I mean,
gonna just be better.
they did a triple threat last year for the women's match
And that was
at Mania,
one of the best matches of the night.
It was a great match. You know, and so yeah, I think totally, you know, one up it, do 4 or 5 way.
I think 5 way with Dana and Nia and all 5 of those ladies could put on a pretty solid showing.
For sure.
So, and I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Rumors. There was a rumor. Oh, that was the rumor.
Okay.
Rumor that they were gonna add at least one of those girls. I think also Asuka will be coming up. There is a fan theory that I really pretty much enjoy. I think Asuka should come up and still have the NXT championship. I think she beats Ember Moon. She has the championship, but is signed to SmackDown and carries the championship into WrestleMania. And eventually is told that if she wins, but she won't win. If she were to win the SmackDown championship, to be told that you've got to relinquish the NXT, and then they have a tournament. Because I think NXT right now, their women's division could have a tournament to see who the next SmackDown Live. But I love tournaments, and that's what I say all the time.
I like tournaments too. I think they should, because that's the biggest thing that I would make to the WWE. The biggest changes I've talked to you about this before. Bring back Saturday Night Main Event.
Yep.
Make it a once a month show. On Saturday night, do it once a month, either exclusive to the network or do it on USA. I don't know if USA has anything on.
Hosted by Vince McMahon.
Yeah, hosted by Vince McMahon.
But let him go back to what he is best at, being a commentator, being that guy.
Good point.
The one thing that watching the older stuff that I miss is Vince McMahon's voice commentating and saying these things. And so, yes, absolutely, bring back Saturday Night Live. He and
Saturday Night
somebody
Main
else.
Event.
Huh?
Saturday Night Main Event.
Sorry, what did I say?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh, sorry. Saturday Night Main Event. Bring him as commentator and one other person.
That's a great idea. That is, but yeah, you know, I'd say do it. Make it Raw and SmackDown both, and you know, have guest appearances by NXT guys or something like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, do it once a month. Have it a big, long 3-hour, extravagant show. Hardly any storyline stuff. Just mainly matches, but also pepper some. Like if you want to do a SmackDown guy versus a Raw guy for a big pay-per-view or something like that, you can set it up here since both shows are there.
Yep.
You know, I think that would be a great idea. Just do it once a month or something like that. You know, so it feels special.
Yeah, they can do it at Madison Square Gardens, like every month, or you know, something around the area.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, like you know, or switch off between 2 places or 3 venues. You know, yeah, that would be totally awesome.
I agree, Vince. If you're listening, we know you're not. That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
It is. It really is.
Instead of doing these smaller pay-per-views, do that.
Yeah,
I think it's a great idea.
That would be really cool for sure. But all right, well, SmackDown. What do you give it?
I give it a 3.5. It was, I think, like I said, it was better than Raw. It wasn't as good as last. It was better than last week's. A 3.75.
3.75. Yeah. I'd give it 3.5. Pardon me. I'd give it 3.5 Broken Skull IPAs as well. Definitely 3.5. Slightly better than Raw. You know, both shows are pretty good. You know, setting up. You know, more Mania stuff. Can't wait to watch it. You know, yeah, pretty good setup shows. I thought. You know, just can't wait to see what's gonna happen these next 2 weeks before we finally get there. It'll be pretty exciting. So, well, that was our weekly recaps, everybody. Which now brings us to our top 10 wrestling finishing moves of all time. Once again, yes. Yes. Once again, these are our favorites. So yeah, these are our top 10 favorite wrestling finishing moves of all time, I suppose. Yeah.
Because there's like there are numerous moves that people have used as finishers that, I mean, we could watch YouTube videos all day long and not be able to choose out of all of them what is the top out of everything.
Yep.
Anyway.
Well,
do you have any honorable mentions?
Honorable mentions? I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, honestly. It's I don't know. Yeah. No, it's kind of hard to think of any right now for some reason.
The only one I have is Red Arrow. Neville's move. I wanted to put it on the list, but there's so many
That's a really good one. Styles Clash. That's an
Yeah.
honorable mention because I have one of his other moves that I like way better.
Cool.
Even though Styles Clash doesn't. Scorpion Death Drop.
Oh yeah, that needs to be on there too.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a I have another one of his moves on here. But yeah, so yeah, those are some ones
Cool.
that I have, and even though I hate Brock Lesnar, the F5 is a cool move. So
It is a cool move.
So yeah, just a couple to off the top of my head, but well, I think I will go ahead and get it started. Don't know why I did the Sting drumming on my chest thing, but all right. Starting off for me, number 10.
10.
10. Thank you. I have my only tie on the. I just couldn't decide which one to put. I have Eddie Guerrero's Frog Splash and Macho Man's Savage Elbow.
Yeah.
You know, you guys know these moves. Come on. I mean, one of my favorite memories is Eddie Guerrero doing steel cage match with JBL, and he does a frog splash off the top of the cage onto JBL, and it looks like it hurts. Like
Nice.
Eddie just rolls off him, but it's just like, like his arms probably hurt, his chest probably hurts, and like he's just like, and I was like, ugh. You know, so you know, it was a big time show stopping move, but you know, the precursor to that, you know, the Savage Elbow, man, Macho Man's. You know, it's just a simple elbow drop from the top rope, but because it's Macho Man, it felt bigger. It felt bigger because he is Macho Man. You know, stop it, do Slim Jim. Be a man, Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 10. You know, I don't really want to go too much into that because it's the Frog Splash and the Savage Elbow. People know those. Come on.
My number 10 is the Jackhammer. Why? Because when Goldberg came in, I had never seen that move, and I always thought that's the logical progression of the suplex for me. Is a suplex into a slam. Like I seeing it, it just looks devastating coming from him. And like I said, I don't remember ever seeing anybody else do it. I could be wrong, but I enjoyed it. It was something innovative at the time that I thought was really, really cool. So for me, top 10, number 10, Jackhammer.
Nice. Number 9 for me, I have several newer moves on here, and this is one of them. Dean Ambrose, Dirty Deeds. I like Dirty Deeds a lot. You know, the way he does it, you know, kicks him in the gut, then grabs him and just quickly falls down. You know, it looks like this, you know, street brawler that he is. It seems like a street brawler type move and stuff, and it's really cool in him kind of carrying on the, you know, Rowdy Piper, Cactus Jack mantle of this, you know, the unhinged street fighter type guy. You know, it totally works for that, man. You know, it's a neat move, and you know, when he did it to James Ellsworth after the TLC, where he just didn't say anything, just walked right out, Dirty Deeds to James Ellsworth, and got out of the ring and walked away. It was one of the best Dirty Deeds I've ever seen. And then he did the one to Kurt Hawkins that one time where he did the exact same thing, just walked into the ring, just did Dirty Deeds, then grabbed the microphone and called out Baron Corbin. That was awesome. And so yeah, I really like it. It's just a cool move, really simple, but it totally works with him and his character, and it's, you know, pretty cool to see. And it's probably one of the few wrestling moves I could actually pull off. So you know, rocking my Dean Ambrose shirt today, and you know, so I pretty much am dressed like Dean Ambrose today, but
the hair and all.
Inadvertently, yeah, the hair, the boots, the jeans, the shirt, everything. So yeah, number 9 is Dirty Deeds.
My number 9 is also a form of the DDT. Is, in my opinion, I mean, it's probably been used before, but in my opinion, the originator of the DDT, it's not the originator of the DDT, Jake the Snake. His DDT, it was my favorite move when I was a kid. It was my favorite move for the longest time. Just the way he does it, the smack on the back, the quick movement, and it looked like it was a finisher. It looked like it was devastating. And now with all these other crazy moves, it's nowhere near the top. But it's awesome that like Mickie James still does a DDT. It's awesome that Alexa Bliss has brought in the DDT. So I'm glad the DDT is still around. But Jake the Snakes will always and forever be the best DDT. That is why it is mine, number 9.
All right. Now we go on to numero 8. That's number 8.
non-speaking, Spanish-speaking friends.
Yeah, indeed. One of my favorite current finishers, just because of how well this man executes it and how it looks real and it actually looks like it hurts. The spear, Roman Reigns spear. Goldberg's spear was my favorite for the longest time, but Roman Reigns, the way he sells it is really, really good. And because he's not as big as Goldberg, he's a little swifter. The way he can spear people out of midair, and the way he can just a sneak attack finisher, the way he can sometimes just kind of just bam hit him with a spear. Like, I really like it. He does a great job selling it, and the people he's with usually do a good job of selling it. And I really like it. He kind of made the spear great again. he brought it back. Because nobody's since Goldberg, I don't think, has really used. I mean, Batista used it, but it was just a signature. Like, it was just a move he did. It wasn't like a big show-stopping finishing move, So, Roman, brought it back, and I think he does a good job because he really picks up a head of steam when he delivers it, and just gut-wrenchingly good spear, and I really, really enjoy his spear a lot. I'm sure people are like, oh no, it's Roman Reigns. Nothing he does is good. I'm a smart. But I think he does a good job of it, and I really, really enjoy his spear. I think he is, in my opinion, probably the person who does probably the best job of selling it. That's just my opinion, though. So yeah, that's number 8, Roman Reigns spear.
All right. My number 8 is one of the newer finishing moves. It's not really used as a finishing move per se, but it should be a finishing move. Is the blue Thunder Bomb. I'm a huge fan of the power bomb.
Oh yeah.
I could have put a numerous amount of power bombs. The jackknife was one of my favorites for a long time. Just the smooth motion of it looked devastating. But for me, the sit down power bomb is great. But the blue Thunder Bomb, spinning the guy around, then power bombing him, is my favorite power bomb right now. And so for me, the number 8 on my list is blue Thunder Bomb.
All right, sweet. Now my number 7 is Sweet Chin Music. Shawn Michaels, he's the showstopper. This was the show-stopping finisher, in my opinion. I love Shawn Michaels. I love Sweet Chin Music, man. What else can you say? It's awesome, man. When he just, and the way he had such control over it. Like, I try to do it, and I'm like, try to do it exactly the way he does. I almost fall forward. Yeah, I love Sweet Chin Music. It's awesome. It is the showstopper, and yeah. What else can you say? it's Sweet Chin Music. It's and Dolph Ziggler kind of started paying homage to HBK using it and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of neat. And so the spirit of Shawn Michaels is still very much alive. And so, yep, Sweet Chin Music is number 7.
My number 7 is probably other people's 1 or 2 or 3, but for me, they're better moves. But for me, number 7 is the Stone Cold Stunner. There are other moves like it, but different. I like the sit down, take your head off move. I like Stone Cold's the only one who could pull it off really, really well. But the Stone Cold Stunner was, depending on who took it, was one of the most devastating moves ever. And so that's why it's on my list. It's not as high as other people's, but that's where it is on my list. Number 7, the Stone Cold Stunner.
Whoosh. All right, and speaking of power bombs, number 6, my favorite, number 6 favorite finishing move of all time is the Batista bomb. Who does that one? Batista, you idiots.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just a sit out power bomb, but because of how big he was and the way he just forced them down, the way he just brought them down so hard, was devastating to me. Just because you're talking about a dude who was 6'6", 315, and he just would and the way he would grab their neck and then just woof, move them in, between his legs, and then he would just pop them up and then just bring them down. It just looked like a devastating move. And I think it was SummerSlam 2008. Batista and John Cena had a match that was really good, and the way the match finished was John Cena jumped off the top rope and Batista just caught him right into a Batista bomb and then pinned him to win. It was it was awesome. Like, I love the Batista bomb, and it's because he was sort of Batista was the Arn Anderson of Evolution. The big guy, the enforcer, and so the Arn had the spine buster, and he had the Batista bomb. So I love the Batista bomb. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, it's just a set out power bomb, but just because of how he did it and how people sold it, it looked devastating. So yep, that's my number 6.
Yep. My number 6 is the Texas Cloverleaf.
Nice.
It's probably not on anybody else's list. I like that one because one of my favorite moves of all time, and it is on my list. It's later down the road. Is a sharpshooter, and this is just a different version of the sharpshooter using your arms. And I love it. I just love the way it looks. I love the concept behind it. So for me, that's why it's on my list, number 6.
Nice. Number 5, I have the newest finishing move, at least to me, is the Phenomenal Forearm by AJ Styles. I really like it. It's like, it's a Dragon Ball Z flying in, punching, kind of cool move. And, it is, what did he do? He did it to John Cena like twice at SummerSlam to win their match. He, did it and then just went right back and then did it again and stuff. And it is like an OMG type move. Like it is, this big show-stopping awesome move. And, I think it's so cool.
Yeah, and the great thing about it, it's not on my list, but the great thing about it is that it is an homage to Japan, because especially when you slow it down, like it just looks like an anime come to life.
Yeah.
Just some guy just getting ready to beat somebody with an arm. It looks cool. So definitely an homage to Japan.
Yeah, and
by him.
I love the Styles Clash. It's a cool move, but it's not showy. It doesn't have this
dangerous.
It's very dangerous and stuff, and it is cool how he does it and then just flips over and then pins him like that. That is neat, but yeah, the Phenomenal Forearm is the big finish. That's the big show ender right there. So, yep, Phenomenal Forearm is my number 5.
All right, my number 5 is the Diamond Cutter.
Nice.
I'm a huge fan of Diamond Dallas Page. I think he should have been in the Hall a long time ago. Not only is he a good man, he is a good wrestler. And when you look back at some of the highlights of like the early WCW Monday Night War stuff, he is one of the things that stands out. Not everybody else is great. He has been great and consistent throughout his whole life, his whole at least career during the Monday Night War. With that being said, the Diamond Cutter by him is really, really, really awesome. It's one of my favorite moves, obviously, of all time. But also the 3D, which is exactly the same thing but through a table or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same concept. It's the same move. So for me, number 5, it's a bit of a nostalgia. It's the Diamond Cutter.
Nice. Now moving on to number 4, the only submission on here for me is Sting's Scorpion Deathlock / Bret Hart's Sharpshooter. What else can you say? I love the Scorpion Deathlock and the Sharpshooter. So cool looking. This like big, epic, cool looking submission move. And stuff like that. And it's people always call it the Sharpshooter, but it's like the Scorpion Deathlock was actually a thing first, which is funny. But yeah, it's the exact same move, and it's like I don't really consider this a tie. I just consider this the same move done by two different guys. And these are two of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Sting and Bret Hart. Yeah. What else can you say about it? It's one of the most, probably in my opinion, anyway, I think it's besides Ric Flair's Figure 4 leg lock, probably the most iconic submission move in wrestling. I'm sure second only to Flair's Figure 4, which I didn't put on here, sadly. But yeah, that's my number 4.
My number 4 is the newest finisher on my list, and it's the newest finisher that I've seen in a long time, at least in the WWE universe. It's called the Eclipse, done by Ember Moon. It was also called, when she was back in the Indies, the O-Face.
Yeah, Athena's O-Face or something.
But apparently it's called Eclipse now, which makes sense with her name, the way it is. I love this move. It's a stunner done from the top rope. Like, she flips over and does a stunner.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool move. I love what it's doing in the storyline with NXT right now. She did it on this one of the women. I can't remember. I think it was Billie Kay. She did it on Billie Kay, and there was a fake injury from it, and so they have called it to be banned. And so they're kind of doing a little fun thing there. So
cool.
So yeah. So anyway, the Eclipse by Ember Moon, such a cool take, cool homage to Stone Cold. Different take. Anyway, that's my number 4.
Yeah, I remember when you sent me, like, it was probably about a year ago now or something, but
6 months ago maybe.
So you sent me a video for indie stuff, and you were like, this chick was just signed by NXT, and this is her finishing move. And I was just like, what? It's like a tornado DDT / Stone Cold Stunner. It's so cool.
Depending on who takes it, it can look really good. However, it can be really dangerous. If they take it horribly, yeah.
But yeah, like it's a really cool finisher. It's it's really awesome. Yeah, that's a good one for the list for sure. Now, my number 3 is one you already had on here. First time I saw this move, I nearly crapped my pants because it was so wicked. It is Goldberg's jackhammer. Such an awesome move. The way he would just spear them, stand up, spit, do the gun thing, and then just pick them up and then just absolutely demolish them into the mat. And then I always loved, it's cool how he would just stay on top of them, lift their leg up, and then pin them like seamlessly right after they hit the ground. Like I thought that was so cool. And this move was just a high impact, like devastating move, and it looked so cool. Yeah, man, it's Goldberg. Yeah, it's just such an awesome movie. You've talked about it a little earlier, obviously, but yeah, it was such a cool, devastating move, and I think it's one of those moves that's just so iconic to one person that nobody else could probably do it, even if they called it something else. Because there are some moves, like the spear, Roman is called the spear, but like Rhino is called the gore, so and there's different ways you can do it, but the jackhammer is the jackhammer. Delayed vertical suplex power slam. No, it's the jackhammer. So yeah, that's my number 3 is the jackhammer.
My number 3 is a newer to me move. It's called the Canadian Destroyer. It is a wicked looking move. It's a pile driver, but it's not just a pile driver. They do a 360 spin in midair into the pile driver, which is a dangerous in and of itself move. Pile driver was one of my favorite moves for the longest time, but this amps it up. The Canadian Destroyer. If you don't know what it is, go check it out. Go find a video of the Canadian Destroyer because it will blow your mind.
Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name who does it, but he's from
Petey something.
He's from TNA, and yeah, I think it's officially called a flipping jackknife pile driver or something is what it's described as or something. I can't remember, but yeah, it's super awesome.
Wicked. It is wicked, is what it is. So yeah, Canadian Destroyer is my number 3.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to kind of interject with that, but
no worries.
Yeah, it's such a it is. It's a wicked move. Like that dude, if that guy came to WWE, that move would be so banned.
Yep.
I mean, if they're not doing the curb stomp, the Seth Rollins curb stomp anymore, there's no way that Vince is letting that guy do that. Now another move you already had on your list, number 2, my number 2 favorite is the Stone Cold Stunner. What else can you say? It is the Stone Cold Stunner. Nothing gave me more joy, when I was a little kid than watching Goldberg just demolish people in 2 minutes or seeing Vince McMahon take the Stone Cold Stunner from Steve Austin. Those were 2 things that still to this day give me joy. And yeah, the Stone Cold Stunner is such an awesome. I loved the way that The Rock would sell it, the way he would bounce back and go crazy, and Scott Hall would kind of do the delayed jump back thing when he would take it, and everybody sold it differently, and stuff like that. And it's just such an iconic move, and it's so awesome. Like I love the Stone Cold Stunner. It's such an epic move. One of my all-time favorites. It's one of the few moves I hope to actually do to somebody in person.
I've actually taken one.
Nice.
When I worked in the movie theater, we were into wrestling, and one of the guys was like, "Hey, let me stunner you." I was like, "Okay," And I mean, because all I've got to do is go down and come out,
Yeah.
come back, so it's not like it's going to hurt me or anything. And so he did it. It's going to hurt him because he's got to jump, fall on his butt on not padding.
Yeah.
And so I did it, took it. It's really fun. Yeah, my number 2 was on your list already too, and I think it's kind of funny. If we look at our list, we could probably date where we started watching wrestling. Because my number 2 is the sharpshooter / scorpion deathlock. It was the move when I was growing up that I just loved, and I wanted to try to emulate more and more. And because I hated Ric Flair, I didn't like the figure 4. And this was like you already said, kind of a different take. It's a standing figure 4 essentially.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And so I was like, I hated Ric Flair, I loved Sting, and I loved Bret Hart. So that's why the figure 4 is not on my list, and that's why number 2 is sharpshooter Scorpion Deathlock. It's a great move. It's a fun move, and we can all do it.
Yeah. yeah. I've put it on Judd before. One of our friends. He's just like, hey, we can do the sharpshooter. I was like, yeah, of course I can. And then I put it on him, and he's like, that doesn't hurt. And I was like, I haven't applied pressure, and I leaned back, and he just goes, ah!
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Lean back and it hurts.
It does. It really, really does. The walls of Jericho, that hurts too.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I put it on
I
people.
do it on Cora all the time because she's short.
Yeah.
I just put it on, sit on her head, or put my knee on her head.
That's funny. All right, now we go to the big number 1. I didn't know number 1 or number 2 of mine which to put where, but I nerd out when I see this move. It's such a wicked move. It can happen in so many different places. It's a sneak attack. It's a big finish. It is my favorite finisher of all time. It is Randy Orton's RKO. I absolutely love the RKO. I'm a big DDP guy too, and I love the Diamond Cutter. But the way Randy Orton does it, it is like a viper striking, or a snake. Like, it is just so quick, and the way he can do it to guys in midair, and just out of nowhere. He does it out of nowhere all the time. Like Seth Rollins 2 years ago at WrestleMania, Seth Rollins is going for a curb stomp. He just jumps up, grabs him, RKO. I think it was I forgot who. I think Drew Galloway. I think he was facing Drew Galloway. Drew Galloway jumps off of the top rope all the way across the ring. Randy Orton jumps up and then does an RKO on him. Like, just so many great RKOs out there, dude. Like, it's my favorite finishing move. And it looks like a devastating move. Like, it is a big finish, but it is also a sneak attack finishing move, and it's so iconic now. And it's way cooler than so many finishing moves in history, and so many. It's the attitude adjustment, the Batista bomb. In my opinion, it's cooler than all those moves, and so yeah, it is my favorite, and it's so cool. I love the RKO.
Right on. My number 1 finishing move of all time, and again, I think I was right. You look at this and you can see that at least your top 2 are. That's what you grew up on. Those are the 2 people that you grew up on, and you fell in love with. Well, same thing with me. My number 1 is the Perfect Plex. Fisherman anything is cool, but the Perfect Plex done by Mr. Perfect was my favorite move because it also pinned them. Like a lot of other things are either submissions or a devastating move, then you pin. I mean, there are like the jackhammer is a pinning move, the Blue Thunder Bomb is a pinning move, but the Perfect Plex was the thing that I loved to see, and I loved it so much that one day I was told I was bullied a little bit when I was a kid, and so I was told by these bullies to I was confronted by these bullies who apparently like wrestling too, and so they were like, "Oh, show us some move." And so I got one of my friends over, and I said, "I'm going to do the Perfect Plex. I got to do the Perfect Plex. It's going to be awesome." And so I did the Perfect Plex on the person on the grass, and it was one of those moves that I really, really love. Perfect Plex all the way, best move ever. So that has been my number 1 pick for top 10 finishers.
Awesome. That was a lot of fun. Top 10 finishing moves, talking about what ones. There are so many, good ones, like, and there's so many ones that are iconic but aren't that great. Like Like the Hogan leg drop.
Leg drop.
That's so stupid. I hate the Hogan leg drop. And you know, yeah.
Yeah, and you have to as far as leg drop, you have to do some crazy stuff. Like there was a Too Cold Scorpio, I think was his name, who did he was get on the top turnbuckle, and he would do a crazy flip into a leg drop.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's cool.
Yeah.
But come on, Hulk.
Yeah.
Like it's iconic. The rock bottom is iconic. It's not great or devastating. The 5-knuckle shuffle, the people's elbow, all these things are iconic, but meh.
Yeah, they're not
devastating.
Yeah.
They're not finishers. You should never be finished by someone punching you in the face like that or whatever. So.
Yeah, any choke slam as a finisher to me isn't that devastating. Like, you know, with Undertaker, he has the Hell's Gate submission, and he has the Tombstone pile driver. But, you know, there was a period where he would just do the choke slam to finish people, and I was like, that's not that cool. The Tombstone pile driver, that's the devastating Undertaker move, you know. So, but yeah.
But there are people who come up with the finishers to make those finishers look cooler. Like Sin Cara, I saw Sin Cara doing basically the rock bottom, but off the top rope, flipping rock bottom.
Yeah.
It looked awesome, but you know, as rock bottom as itself.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the only bad thing about The Rock, in my opinion, is his two finishing moves weren't that devastating.
Yeah.
The rock bottom is better than the people's elbow.
Yes.
You know, because, you know, I mean, it is a big show-stopping move, but it's not a devastating, like, big finishing move. See, like, I feel like if the people's elbow was more like Big Cass's Empire elbow.
Yes.
I feel like if it was like that, it would be a lot more devastating. Because instead of just falling, you know, Cass, runs off the rope and then jumps and then lands it down. So I feel like if the people's elbow was more like the Empire elbow, it would be much more devastating and stuff. But and all that malarkey. But
Blarney Stone.
I like malarkey. It's such a fun word to say. But yeah, I was just gonna say something else. But yeah, and like there are some moves that you know are you know good finishing moves, but you know they're just not my favorite. Like the Attitude Adjustment's a good finishing move, but it's just not one of my favorites and stuff like that. Because it's from an elevated position. It has kind of a whiplash.
RVD does it better.
Type effect. Oh, he does one like that.
It's the Death Valley driver.
Oh yeah, the Death Valley driver.
It's better done by him.
So, yeah. A lot of people do the Death Valley driver. Yeah. But yeah, there's so many crazy, you know, like the Van Daminator, the Van Terminator. Those are neat moves, you know. So just so many finishing moves in wrestling history. You know, these are just our favorites and whatnot. So yeah, that's gonna have to find out another top 10 list to do sometime shortly. And you know, those are always fun to do, but you know, probably have to be after WrestleMania because I feel like we're gonna have a lot to talk about these 2 weeks before.
Possibly, maybe not as much next week, but the week after we will.
Yeah. Can't wait because you know, in 2 weeks we'll be doing our predictions. So. Yeah, well, that. I think that's a good show. I think we could call this the go home and get on out of here and stuff.
Go home and get out of here.
So, yeah, well, that has been WWPWW, folks. The road to WrestleMania. We are coming up on the exit. It is 2 weeks away. You know, it's you know, we're seeing the sign. WrestleMania, 3 weeks away. WrestleMania, 2 weeks away. It's coming up.
It is the ultimate thrill ride. We better be thrilled. If not, come that next Monday morning, we're gonna rip it to shreds.
I think.
Well, it may not. I guess it won't be Monday. I guess it'll be Wednesday.
But yeah, I think there will be. You know, hopefully there will be at least one good match that will tear the house down.
I hope so.
Really.
It's not gonna be the last one. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that yet. Well, I guess we could call it good, folks. That seems like a good time to put a pin in it. Thanks for stopping by. Ryan, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we will see you all next week for more wrestling talk here on the WWPWW. We are the Wrestling Podcast and Sons of Guns. This is Caleb.
This is Jeremy.
Signing off.
Peace.